What is up, guys? What is up? My name's Jackal, and welcome back. This is a makeup video for yesterday. This is a Saturday video, which means Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. It is time. No BoJack Horseman today, because we got to binge the season like we always do at the end of the 12 episodes, and then we're going to tackle the last 4 after that, which is going to be supposedly a whole other adventure unto itself. So, for today, though, we are here for, we're just here for some Mystic and some questing. So make sure you guys subscribe if you guys find this. You only found this if you enjoy that retro goodness. It's the only reason you would have shown up. Today, though, we're going to be doing something a little bit, not like super different. It's just a little different. Let's explore some of this area, though. Oh boy, we're going to be hitting the wrong buttons a little bit now. Anything over? No, I can't even get in there. But yeah, we're going to do something a little bit different today. Because we're going to be making metalheads angry, which is what we like doing. And this kind of was inspired by the band In Flames coming out with a new CD that was actually, as far as I could tell, pretty fucking decent. But I saw that there was a lot of fans who had very mixed opinions, as fans tend to have on anything. Especially a band like In Flames, who, you know, for their movement, they're pretty popular, I would say. I would definitely say they're pretty popular. So, because of that, it made me think about, you know, a lot of bands that I seem to have hot takes with. Mainly because, I've said this before, I have a tendency a lot of times, and I promise I don't even try to do it. I just have a lot of solid disagreements with basically every fandom. I wouldn't even say that I'm a part of, because I don't even find myself to be part of any fandoms because of that. Like, how much of a fan am I when I pretty much... Excuse me, why are you on auto? Who told you to be on auto? I could have changed it and I forgot. There we go. What's with this sketchy ass tree? Oh shit. Did that make enemies reappear? Did it? I don't know. Did it? I don't know. Bro, why do I almost feel lost right now? Okay, good. The enemies did not respawn. Because I was going to be like, I don't really need to be figuring out what enemies I need to refight and everything. Fuck that. But no, it made me kind of want to go back and make a couple fans angry. Because like I said, because I don't really agree with basically any fan group, it makes me wonder, like, you know, to what extent am I even really a part of any fandom? I don't honestly know if there is one that I am a part of. Maybe my favorite band, maybe Dark Tranquillity. But that's because their fans all seem to be pretty on vibe with one another. Everybody kind of seems to have everyone seems to kind of have the same vision for what they want the band to do, which is whatever vibe they're kind of feeling at the time. Everybody seems to be in pretty good unison on that. And, you know, nothing really fucks that up for the most part. So everything ends up working its way out pretty well with that fandom. But a lot of other ones just does not work the same. So I figure we're going to go with one of the most mainstream bands out there. But because I've just recently re-listened to all of their music, including the 2 newest albums of theirs that I hadn't really gotten into, I figured, why not do a little ranking video of them? So before we start, alright, we start over here. We got Mate. Oh shit. Alright, here. I have to put that back on Do Not Disturb. One sec. Alright, anyway. Mate. Feed. God damn it. I cannot. Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat. The very first Slipknot album. The underground first Slipknot album. The one that they released before they even had their new singer. Before they had Corey Taylor, their longtime current vocalist. New singer. The fuck am I talking about here? But first official Slipknot album. I remember trying to, back in the day when, before Facebook was big, and MySpace was the hip and hoppin' new thing the kids were using, there were a lot of music pages that would pop up. And you could usually find a lot of artists who had their music on there, and then you could find a lot of people who would upload a lot of music onto there. And one of the bands that, because at the time, there were only 3 main Slipknot albums. There was their self-titled, Iowa, and Volume 3. Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat was like that secret one. Now it's not so much of a secret that they have an earlier first album. But back then it was a lot more like, ooh. And after listening to that album a bunch, when I was a teenager, I was not really able to get into it. And now that I'm older, I can a little bit more. And I must say, I liked it. Now, spoiler alert, it is also my least favorite. Of all the albums they ever made, it is my least favorite. It does sound the most amateurish. But one of the things that I do like hearing is that they really, really, really did not sound like a band that wanted to be tied down by any sort of like sound back then. Hold on. Alright, let's turn the radio off. I am blocking the sidewalk on the driveway, which is a no-no. You're not supposed to do that. I know I don't have my seatbelt on. I'm just backing up the car, man. Just backing up the car. It's cool, bro. You know what? Let's back up a little bit here. Alright, sorry about that. You got to hear extra ding-dongs, 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 ding-dongs. But, anyway. Ooh, new axe! Yo! I can probably whop the fuck out of all these guys with this thing. But no, it sounded like a band that didn't really want to have its sound really tied down to anything. They had so many different sounds and influences all over the album that it was actually much more of a unique listen than I ever gave it credit for when I was younger. I always thought, like, yeah, it's that shitty first album they made. But, like, even though, you know, like I said, spoiler alert, it is my least favorite, I don't think it's all that bad. I don't think it's all that bad at all. I think it's actually really good. And actually, I would say that I may in fact like the version of Gently that is on Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat more than I like the version that made it onto Iowa. And Killers Are Quiet was like a demo version of oh Jesus Christ, oh no. Oh no. Killers Are Quiet is like the demo version of the song, the actual song Iowa. And actually, I think I like Killers Are Quiet more than I do Iowa. I must say. I indeed do say. So it sounds their most amateurish, it sounds their goofiest, it is definitely their cringiest, but also, like, it's not bad. If you like a lot of that industrial shit from that era, there's probably a lot for you to actually like in it. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of that shit, so, like, it's personally not for me. But, like, it's not a bad listen. And also, I didn't know that, like, I remember Paul Gray's bass playing in the other albums being pretty good. I didn't realize it was as good as it was until I heard Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat. He was actually the one that I was the most impressed with throughout that entire album. Because the whole time it had me sitting there thinking, like, yo, I didn't actually know Paul could play like this. I knew he was good. But that's real good. So, you know, good album. Not anywhere near their best, but, like, compared to what my image of it was going into that album, way fucking better than I thought it would be. Alright. Jesus Christ. Mean. Alright, so next, since I said this was my least favorite, this should come as no surprise to anyone. Their self-titled album. Now, another spoiler alert, this one is going to remain on the tippy top. On the tippy top of their list. Forever. At least for now. Not forever. For now. But yeah, I guess you would call it technically their second album. But their self-titled album is, to me, the best that they've still ever have sounded. I will say that because of the massive percussive element of especially those first two main albums between Slipknot and Iowa, because of all of the massive percussive elements, a little bit in, like, the guitar playing, not the actual riffage, like if you look at the notes, but a lot of, like, the way that it's produced and the production value, it ends up sounding a little too muddy at times. A lot of the riffs kind of hide behind the percussiveness of it, which does, on one hand, give it a very unique feel that I think for this album, with as wild and fast and crazy as it is, I think works for it. And also, much like their endeavor with Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat, I find that Dickhead. Just like that one, I find that they don't really stick to a one solid sound. They still have a bunch of influences that give them, like, a lot of industrial sounds, a lot of, like, solid nu metal sounds. a bit of a good amount of hip-hop influence. Like, they managed to have quite a lot of... I don't know why I'm hitting him. But he's got a crit, so that works. But they have so many influences that I think actually managed to meld together really well on this album. And it really does sound like not a whole lot of other things like it at the time. Other bands hinted on like aspects of it, but that one had a really solid sound that really wasn't replicated anywhere else or by anyone else. I'm obviously going to talk to the goofy ass looking tree here in a second. I just want to see if there's any more enemies. I feel like I did a good job of cleaning up. Yes, cool. But yeah, it's... I think it does a lot of things right, and it has a really big, like, almost like tent house, like circus vibe to it that I understand why it's not so much loved by a lot of the metalheads who are older than me that didn't start off with that sound. I get it, because a lot of new metal ended up sounding like just pissed off grunge music. Like, it was the same level of angstiness, the same level of, like, emotion, but just directed in a much different way. You the king of forest? So you're the king of this forest, huh? Let us go through. The Deku tree is dead. I don't think it likes you. How about Kaylee? Can't she talk to trees? She must be in Aquaria by now. So I have to walk all the way to Aquaria. Is this game fucking serious? Like, is it for real serious? I can't believe this game would make me do this. Bruh. But no, like, I'm not grading these albums on, like, their technical aspect or, like, how good, like, they actually are musically. Like, I'm only going by fifis and what I like more. Because I'm not, like, musically trained or anything like that. So I can't give, like, super in-depth answers as to why these things... why I like them any more than just I like them. But yeah, I to me, that first Slipknot album, it hits so hard on every note. The creepy songs sound nice and creepy in a goofy way. The aggressive songs are hard, fast, and nasty, gnarly. I think it all works. I think it all comes together pretty perfectly, honestly. Especially for, like, the vibe that they were trying to capture in the late 90s. I think it hits just as hard today as it always did. Alright, now for the one that this is going to be less controversial now, but it's probably going to get more controversial as we go along. Just when we start comparing it. But in the middle, we got Iowa. Now, Iowa is going to end up being much farther down my list than most fans would probably prefer it be. But for right now, it's in the middle. It's not as amateurish as, you know, Made, Feed, Kill, Repeat, obviously. But to me, man, that album just hasn't aged super well for me. Like, it has a lot of the same problems in production. I wouldn't necessarily call them problems, but choices with a lot of the guitars and stuff sounding like it's a little too hidden behind the percussion. But a big problem to me is it just isn't as unique. Everything is much more, like, straightforward. Everything's heavier, everything's louder, but like, it has a few moments like Gently and Iowa, which now that I'm older, I can actually listen to Iowa and be like, I enjoyed that more than just having listened to it. Okay, so I gotta go talk to Grandpa till she wakes up. Cool. Go under the house. But Iowa just loses a lot of the uniqueness that made their self-titled album so special, and a lot of those production choices, like, it doesn't sound as much like jungle music in the way that the first album did. Like, it just doesn't hit the same way. It just doesn't. And not just that, like, the angstiness on that album is turned up enough to where, like, I legit, it's even, in a sense, it's less cringe than the original album, but it's more, if that makes sense. Like, it's more overly emotional, it's more overly angry. It's just, it really is just angsty grunge music, for real. And, you know, it is, to me, I would say that even though there are albums that I like, I would say less than this one, that they've made, including MFKR, even with there being albums that I like less than this one to me has the most, as far as I can tell, with what at least to me feels like filler songs. Like the song The Shape, never really been too much of a fan of. I think that song is pretty lame. Like, just never been a huge fan. New Abortion, I think, is really meh. Just eh. And a fan favorite that I'm not gonna lie, and this has been the case for me, this isn't just a recent thing. This has been ever since I was in high school. Actually, even before then. Maybe high school, maybe middle school. I don't remember when I got my hands on a copy of Iowa. I don't remember if it was 8th grade or it was freshman year. But regardless, around the time that I was 14, 15 years old, mid-2000s, ever since way back when, we're going back almost 20 years now, Disaster Piece is mid. I said it and everyone needs to know it. Disaster Piece is a mid song. It is the song that comes on in between People Equal Shit and My Plague. Two supremely, infinitely better songs than Disaster Piece. Disaster Piece has been one of those songs that I think everybody loved when we were younger because it starts off, I want to slit your throat and fuck the wound, which is pretty metal when you're a kid. And then now when I'm older, like, I've listened to lyrics that are more graphic and more brutal than that, but that just seems like goofy. It just seems goofy. Like, I get it. I get a lot of people really like the fast, heavy nature of that album, but man, it just does not. As a whole, that album just doesn't do it for me anymore. None of the other albums have, like, what I would consider filler songs in that way. Maybe one that we'll get to in a minute, but, like, that's hard, man. How's the tunnel going? Can you save Captain Mac and his ship? I can't dig a tunnel that far. We need Otto's help. He's in Windia. Tristan, that's your sir. Tristan, treasure hunter. You don't say. Listen, I heard a rumor about some amazing armor. Let's go. Bro, don't even give a fuck. He hears about treasure and he beats it. Cool. And we got left. Nope, Phoebe. Grandpa just won't slow down. Maybe I'll just use a bomb to move this dirt. Jesus Christ, what is going on? What did you do? Bro, what is going on? I like the grabby hand, though. I got the bad touch claw. Hell yeah. But yeah, right now it's in the middle, but yeah, Iowa, it's I re-listened to a few Slipknot albums back when The Gray Chapter was the newest one around the time that I went homeless. And Iowa was better than I thought it was like 5-6 years ago, but like still has not aged well. Still has not aged well. Good listen, but not aged well. Alright, and next over here we got Boom. Volume 3, if I could get it correct. Holy shit. The Subliminal. I think that's how it's spelled. I don't know how Subliminal is spelled. Fuck them. But yeah, Volume 3. Bro, I tell you, Volume 3 is even better now than when it was when I listened to like 6 years ago, 6-7 years ago now. When I was younger, when I was a teen, I thought Volume 3 was not as good as Iowa. Bro, completely false. Completely false. Every single way false. Like, not even close. It's just, ugh. Bruh. I tell you. Bruh. That's the sound of how wrong I was, right there. Oh yeah, let's go talk to Kaylee again. So much wrongness. I don't think there's any filler songs on that album. Maybe one. Maybe I'll give you track 7, Welcome. Maybe that'll be the one that I'll say is like a filler song. The rest of it, bro, no filler on there. The intro is an actual song for once. Prelude 3.0. That song's fire. The Blister Exists fire. 3-0. But not quite. I would say no, it's not quite filler. Duality's good. Opium of the People's good. Circle is excellent. 7. Fine. I'll give you 7. Vermilion, Pulse of the Magus, Before I Forget, Vermilion Part 2. None of the rest of the songs on that album are bad. Everything else on that album is fucking good. He said I should see Otto and Windia, and I was hoping you'd come too. And she just jumps in my party. Ooh, she got Heavy X as well. Twinsies. But yeah, it's a really good album. I think it's less angsty, and it is all the better for it. It has more song variety from it, which it's all better for it. I know a lot of fans are always going to be like, oh no, this is when they started doing acoustic shit. But like, again, to me, having gone through the band, starting with Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat, one of my favorite aspects of that album was the fact that it didn't really stay tied down too much sonically. It liked to play around with shit. Like, Do Nothing Bitch Slap is basically like an amalgamation of like funky, like literal like funk shit, and like it's so much. I can't even explain it. So many different influences. And even though, again, that was my least favorite album, it was still something that I appreciated out of it. I think that's something that really helped the album along. Alright, we're not going to refight enemies, we're only going to refight what's in our way. We already beat all their asses, we don't need to... Damn, she's wicked strong. Luckily, I have magic. Yeah, we'll just fight who we need to get back to the tree. But no, I definitely think that, you know, it's no coincidence that my two favorite albums of theirs were albums that, you know, mimicked their demo in their unwillingness to be tied down to a given sound. Meanwhile, Iowa is the one that sounds like it's a little too samey. A little too samey, the same that smells samey. Perfect, and all she has is Arrow. Get fucked, all of you. Delicious. So yeah, Volume 3, not too bad. And by not too bad, I mean fucking great. Let me figure out where I need to go down, and then I'll cut to the next. Yeah, this should be it. Alright, cool. Alright, so after Volume 3, boom, point 5, The Gray Chapter. Better than Iowa. Better than Iowa. Yep, I said what I said, and I enjoyed saying it. So yeah, The Gray Chapter is, I actually think, was a perfect blend in a way to celebrate the life of Paul Gray. I actually think, or whoa, I'm dumb. How did I go to The Gray Chapter? Ignore me? Ignore. It will be right there, but that's cheating. I forgot an album, how dare me. All hope is gone. Underneath Iowa. Just a hair underneath Iowa there. But, yeah, Iowa is, I said what I said about it. All Hope Is Gone, I would probably argue, has the most similar amount of potential filler in it compared to all the other albums that I'm referencing. Yeah, it's just, there's something about this album that never truly sat well with me. Like, it came out when I was a senior in high school. I had just been getting, like, out of Slipknot and into, like, less mainstream bands. I had been for a while, but, like, that was really, like, the age where, you know, you had to disregard anything and everything at all that was fucking mainstream, like it was all shit because it was mainstream. Sorry for the silence. Some dude is just stopping. Okay, I don't know what he's doing. Some dude was stopping over here by our house real quick. Dude was kind of looking almost like a crazy person. Just walks around. He was like not eating his thumb, but he had his thumb in his mouth. He was like looking at shit almost frantically. Kinda weird, bro. Oh yeah, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to be. Right? Yes, it is. Cool. Alright, but yeah, All Hope Is Gone. A big problem that it has for me is that it was too much. It was a little too straightforward to me. Like, there was, when it does come to Slipknot, I do want them to have a little bit of, like I said, that more percussive element. And, you know, them not having it on this album as much did kind of pull away from it a little bit. A lot of the songs were a lot better than I remember them being when I was younger, but oh, great tree spirit of the forest, please let us through to Windia. I'll let you through if you can whack the monsters inside of me. If that's the way you want it. Deku tree, let's go. Cool. And we're in the dungeon. That's great. Yeah, this is going to be an extra long video, it seems like. But yeah, it's just, it's a little too, like, I get that this was like the era where like nu metal was like for real, like dead dying. So I get that at the time they wanted to take a more traditional metal approach to it. But I think, like, and the way that I'll say with their next album, which is what I was going to say before I started skipping over this one, it just trended a little too far away from that. And, you know, the songs were still good. I enjoyed a lot of the songs, but, like, there wasn't a lot of songs that really felt like they were really as explosive or dynamic as songs that they would have both in their past and in their future. You know, while doing this kind of ranking, it's kind of done with a little bit of hindsight into, you know, where they would go. But, you know, this one just doesn't do it for me. Better than I remember it being in my senior year of high school, but just, yeah, it just feels a little bit neutered. It just feels like something is amiss in the whole operation. And, you know, go figure, a lot of the songs that, you know, I do like are the songs that are a little more different, which is, you know, on this album, much less. But, what is the song? Gehenna, or however it's spelled. I like that song. I enjoy that song a lot. You know, because that's a song where it's like the chorus is weird and off, and it sounds like something that's a little more experimental. Snuff is a fantastic song. It is hard to sing Snuff to this day without me getting emotional and like choking up a little bit. Like, that is a song that it is incredibly hard to sing. Especially with the history that, you know, goes into that song with fucking the death of Paul Gray and shit. Like, you know, a lot of that shit, I probably should have gone for the other one, so that way he would have probably respawned a half-dead ghost. Ooh, tree fucker, you're gonna get it. What is this, a tree scorpion? A bark scorpion? A snipion? A snipion? Absolutely not. What the fuck, bro? That was some horse shit that you just pulled on me right there. The level of disrespect. But yeah. So now, like I said, with that being taken into account, with seeing where they would go and where they had gone before, 0.5, The Gray Chapter. Now, see, this album, I think, did a really good job of being traditional enough, having guitar solos, having enough things that check the box, like, at this point, that pure nu metal sound is gone. Like, at this point, it's like early 2000, like, what is it, 2012 or something when that album came out? That song no longer exists like that anymore. So I think they added still a little bit of it compared to their first album, or compared to their last album, but still kept it trad enough to still appeal and still be better to newer sensibilities. I really think that album hit the mark on the head with regards to trying to get both of those things. You know, done in memory of Paul Gray at this point. You know, I remember the first song I think I'd ever listened to on that album was Skeptic, because I remember hearing like, oh, this is the song that's a tribute to Paul, and I was like, oh, well, fuck, I gotta check out that. And I remember that song blowing me away. It seems like they started doing a little bit more with the sampling. They brought a little bit of the nu metal flavoring back to accompany the old school, to accompany the, I forget which order I started in. They merged their old and their new into what I felt was a much better. I should not have done it in that order. Cool. I think they did a much better job here of being able to meld those old and new sounds together. And a lot of the songs I think sound really fucking good. It has a nice blend of old Slipknot, new Slipknot. Good chunk of everything going on here. Get them both. But yeah, no, a lot of even the singles, even songs over there like "The Devil and I think, I wish, because you know the song that they got really big for, I would say in kind of the mainstream eyes was after Volume 3 when they came back was Psychosocial. I wish like "The Devil's Eye" or "The Devil and I," whatever the song's called. I wish that song would have gotten that same amount of love that Psychosocial had gotten. That would have been a much more deserving song of it. Like another great song, Kill Pop. Kill Pop was a song that was like, it was like the same vibes to me as Vermilion, but like in every way better. It's just so many songs on that album I thought were fucking a banger. The only song that I really didn't like on that album, I think, was the song Custer. Cut me up and fuck me. Like, I ended up liking it more after, like, repeat listens, but definitely at first, bro, no. I couldn't stand that song at first. But overall, I think the album, for me, actually ended up aging really well. And I think I was very happy with it. I think it hit a lot of the correct notes. I will say that it definitely it's even able to override a bit of my it's good enough that it's able to override my nostalgia for what's it called? It's able to override my my nostalgia for Iowa. Because, like, Iowa still is where it is, partially because of the nostalgia for it. Because, like, I don't know if I would listen to an album like that anymore. But, like, nostalgia hits in ways, and I can't fully discount that as to say how I like shit, or, like, when and why. Fuck this tree up. Yeah. Alright, almost done, though. Alright, so next one. Right over here. Bam! Oh, no. How dare I? Now, actually, this one is tough. This one is tough for me. We Are Not Your Kind. I would have to put it right here. Still better than Iowa. But there is something about this album that I don't like quite as much as their one before it. I almost want to say it's musically like more of what I'm looking for. But I feel like it's just got something missing. And I don't really know what it is. All the songs are good, though. And I think some of the songs, like, I'll put it this way. I would say that, I think, nice. Got the fucking long shot over here. I think there are songs in We Are Not Your Kind that are better than songs that you're going to find on the Gray Chapter. Like, The album closer, Solway Firth, is actually a banger of a fucking song. Like, there's a whole bunch of songs on that. Critical Darling ends with... It's been a long time since a Slipknot song, riff, for real, gave me the fucking stank face. And that riff at the end of Critical Darling, fucking oof. Bro, that shit fucking had me hit. Okay, clearly there's got to be some... Okay, it's going in through that door. It's... What the fuck was that? Can this claw one-shot enemies? What? It has death touch? Nah, dude. Nah. That's ruthless. I love this claw. Holy shit. But yeah, it's got the highs, and it's also got songs that, like, I don't know, it just feels like to me that something's missing from it, and I don't know what it is. It's nobody on anybody's individual performance. It's just, it doesn't... I think a big thing is with me is you could tell... What the fuck is this? Some bullshit. You could tell that the last album was one that was like... You could feel the raging emotion from losing Paul. You could feel every, like, bit of pain that everybody was feeling at the time. Thanks, guys. I love all of you. Oh my god. So much poisoning. But yeah, it's just... There's nothing wrong with the album. It's just like... It's good. It's really good. That's the thing. Like, I'm not trying to say anything about it is bad, because it's clearly where it is on my ranking of all the albums. It just doesn't... I can't pinpoint why it doesn't belong up above the Gray Chapter. It's just, with the Gray Chapter, there was that feeling of like they were saying goodbye to a brother. And you could feel the pain that went into it. And this album was just, it had all of the same benefits that I said about the Gray Chapter, about fusing a more, still the same direction of more of an old sound with their new sound combined. I think it does all of that. But there is a fire that's missing just because the other one, they were in the heat of having lost Paul. And that's not like their fault or anything like that. It's just, it makes that album just hit harder. The Gray Chapter meaning. So, you know, We Are Not Your Kind is a fantastic still mesh of old Slipknot and new Slipknot. It just doesn't hit as hard as the album that, you know, they made in memory of Paul. Like, that was such a painful one for them. And they were also kind of saying bye to Joey as a member of the band and releasing a lot of the frustrations with, you know, how that ended up. So, I mean, there was a lot of emotion that went into the Gray Chapter that I think is just obviously missing from their newest album, or from their 6th album. You know, nothing wrong with it. Everything's good about it, but it's less cringe than their older albums. Like, so it's better than Iowa. All Hope Is Gone. It's better than Mate, Feed, Kill, Repeat. Like, it's better than those, but it's not as good as the other ones. It just doesn't have that same emotion built into it. You know, it's just a really good album. Alright, and then last, their newest album. You did miss one of the totes hitting me. I wasn't able to switch it over in time. But what's their new album even called? Why can't I think of it right now? What is their new album called? Why is it escaping me? Why is it escaping me? What is going on here? Jesus Christ, I'm so dumb. Alright. The end so far. Just a ball. Okay, we don't need fucking Spotify over here. Thank you very much. Just a ball's hair lower than Iowa. It's not as cringe. Honestly, so many fans were hating on this album, and like, bro, I don't get it. Like, it's not their best album. It's not even, it's on their back half of the album. It's even, I like it less than the album of theirs that I find omega cringe. But it's still a fine album. It's still just fine. I would say the end have a little bit more like filler songs at the end, but at very least, I don't mind. Now, because it's their newest album, I also, this one and We Are Not Your Kind, I have the least amount of experience with, because at least all the other albums, I listened to them as well years ago. These ones are more like fresh, so I don't have as much of a basis to compare them with themselves, like with the other albums, as I do the other albums. But, you know, honestly, my biggest discrepancy with the album, fuck you, fucking stupid frog. Can we shock all of them? I hope they're weak to it. No. How'd that do? Much better. Nice. But no, I think the album just, I think it was... I think the problem that for me is that it almost lacked an identity, like, properly. Because I'm not going to lie, when I heard the opening song, Adderall, and I heard, like, the experimental direction that it went, fuck what the other fans think. I was beyond excited when I heard Adderall. Because then it made me think, like, oh, we're doing this. We're going to be, like, exploring. Like, sonically. I thought I was in for, like, a treat like that. And then, you know, I come to find out that a lot of the other songs just kind of maintained a pretty basic Slipknot sound. And nothing that's even really that crazy. I think it, you know, was lacking a lot of that percussive element. It was lacking a lot of the DJ shit. There was some of it, but it just... Hell yeah. There's just a lot of things that felt like, to me, that they were missing from that album. Like, it's still better than All Hope Is Gone, because All Hope Is Gone just feels like legit filler songs to me, almost. Even though they're not, they kind of just feel like that. A lot of the songs just feel anemic. This feels like it has a little bit more life than those, but honestly, I was hoping for, especially after I heard the way the album dropped, I was expecting a little bit more, exploration in that album. And it ended up being not really that. Like here, like, Chapeltown Rag, I thought was fine. The Dying Song, Time to Sing was fire. Yen was good. Hive Mind, Warranty, Medicine for the Dead is fine. Heirloom is good. H377, or I don't know if that's Hell. That's fine. Desaad is okay. The Finale's okay. Like, none of the songs are, like, bad, but they're just They're just And I mean, it's nothing about it is bad. Like, I don't get when people are, like, really trying to shit talk, saying, like, you know what, after this last album, I'm out. Like, I mean, be out whenever you want. Like, it's fine, but what the fuck just happened there? Excuse me. What the fuck was that about? Okay. I don't know. Well, that's it for today. I've been playing this game forever. I've been talking forever. Game is saved. But yeah, this